Hello and welcome to Business Point on Global Television, your hub for topical discussion in the world of business as regards entrepreneurship, business, and government policies. I am your host, Queen Agaba. Today we're discussing a significant development that's set to reshape Nigeria's economic landscape. Nigeria has officially joined the BRICS nations, that's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa as a partner country. This new partnership promises to unlock fresh opportunities for trade, investment, and economic cooperation. But what does this mean for Nigeria's economy? How will it impact our businesses, industries, and even Nigerians in general? We'll delve into the details of this historic partnership and explore its potential impact on our economy, our economic growth, our trade relations, and global competitiveness. Joining me will be my guest, I beg your pardon, on the program, David, who will share his insights and perspectives after this break. Please stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. We apologize for that long break. Hopefully we get connected with David Igbeji. But let's still look at the significant developments that set to reshape Nigeria's economic landscape. I said earlier that Nigeria has officially joined the BRICS nations. That's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa as a partner country. This new partnership promises to unlock fresh opportunities for trade, investment, and economic cooperation. But what does this mean for Nigeria's economy? That's the big question. How will it impact our businesses, industries, and citizens? And of course, there has been speculations knowing that Nigeria is already part of the G20 and now is a partner country for BRICS, knowing the implications since, the US is at loggerheads with, other countries like Russia and China. We'll dive into the details of this and the partnership and also explore potential impact on Nigeria's economy. Let's get started. I have my colleague in the studio, Samuel Odi, our business correspondent right here. So let's examine the implications of Nigeria's new partnership with BRICS.
Well, I think it's a welcome development to start with, because the president actually, during his campaign, he made mention of the fact that Nigerian economy is his core. He's going to focus more on Nigerian economy to see how the Nigerian economy is going to revamp. So we witnessed last year, in his first year in office, he made a whole lot of trips. We saw him going to France, going to India, going to Russia. When he can't go himself, he gets to send the vice president or send a representative to go represent the country. So this partnership now, it's a welcome idea, it's a welcome initiative, because currently Nigerian inflation is at double digits, and then most of these countries that are members and partner countries to BRICS, their inflation is at one-digit number. So Nigeria is a double digit. So now let's see, with this current partnership, we are hoping to see that our current inflation rate is going to drop to probably to a single digit number in the coming years. Looking at what IMF said, they made mention of the fact that with the current tax reform policies that Nigeria have, it's going to take 10 to 15 years for us to be able to have a well-revamped economy. But it has argued, individuals have argued differently, saying with this partnership with BRICS, we are going to see a certain level of stability in Nigerian economy.
Oh, beautiful. But there are other sides to, Nigeria being a part of BRICS, a partner country to BRICS, knowing that Nigeria is a part of the G20, which consists of Russia, China, and, all of that. And then, that the Nigeria being a part of BRICS as well, and then the US, our relationship, how would that affect our relationship with the US, knowing that the US and some of these countries in the G20, in the BRICS, I beg your pardon, in BRICS are not,
looking at this now, Nigeria is not a full member. We are not a full, Nigeria is not a full member of the BRICS. It is just a partnership that they kind of having. Let's look at it this way. Nigeria's full legs, their footing is with the G20, because they totally, everything, the policies from IMF and World Bank, that's what Nigerian economy is basically looking into and then paying much attention to. That's why you've not witnessed the BRICS community coming to say that, yes, in the next couple of years, Nigerian economy is going to be at a certain figure. That's why, most times we tend to see World Bank and the IMF, International Monetary Fund, tend to give projections for Nigerian economy. So now, what does this mean for the bilateral relationship Nigeria has with the G20 and the United States of America? I don't think it's going to hamper the relationship currently, because we are not fully partners. We are hoping to see that it's actually going to help, because the president has been on severe travels just to see how Nigerian economy is going to come back to a very certain level, though he said that he inherited a dying economy, that he didn't know the economy is that bad when he came into office. That was why we saw a whole lot of policies being pressed down on Nigerians on almost monthly basis. So with this current initiative now by the president, and we hope to see a very good response when it comes to the Nigerian GDP being growing, and also inflation measures dropping down.
Okay, like you already know that Nigeria is already a key player in African trade, with the country serving as a major, hub for regional commerce, basically. And now Nigeria is a member of BRICS, membership with BRICS as a partner country. Don't you think that this may lead to, obviously, I think it will lead to a shift in our trade priorities, as in potentially impacting the relationship with other African countries. How do we now balance our commitment with BRICS and then our
ECOWAS.
existing trade relationships?
I don't think it's obviously not going to be a negative effect because now Nigerian economy is currently not at its best. We used to be the giant of Africa on all levels, but now South Africa is leading the pack, followed by Egypt. Now Nigeria is struggling behind at the third position. So now all of these partnerships now is something we're expecting. Though BRICS has its own currency and all, Nigeria runs a dollarized economy. Now the Crude for Naira initiative is something that was created by the president to be able to help the floating Naira regain more value. Now you asked the question on how it's going to hamper our other relationship. I don't think it's going to hamper in the sense that there are still room, there are initiatives that were created for other countries to be able to trade freely with Nigeria and other bilateral relationships we have with France and, other African countries are still there. That's why the president and Nigeria at large did not sign up totally for full membership.
Okay, let's look at the other opportunities, challenges that may arise. We've talked about how this may not necessarily affect our trade relationships, but the opportunities, the challenges that would arise from, increased access to the BRICS.
Challenges, if you're looking at challenges now, I think we have lots of challenges on our front, and then what we are looking for basically now are solutions, right, in the long run. Solutions are what we are actually looking at. But now there is BRICS currency, which India, which is a full member, rejected a couple of weeks ago, and then still focusing more on getting their own currency to a certain level. So the BRICS currency is currently, on a loggerheads, though the dollar obviously is still doing significantly well. And challenges that may arise is when the BRICS might want to impose its currency on their partner countries. I think that is where there might be a challenge. But I don't think the BRICS now have the capacity, and then the numbers to be able to do that at this point, because doing that, you're going against a higher force that is too fitting. The G20 and the World Bank actually have more leverage ahead of the BRICS. So I don't think that is something that would be happening anytime soon. But looking at Nigeria now and its current economic situation, they're just doing whatever it takes. The president and the MBS and the economic team are doing whatever it takes for Nigeria to be able to breathe above sea level.
Okay, but you'd agree with me that our economy has long been dominated by the oil sector. But the government has been, working to diversify the economy and reduce, our dependence on oil exports. This partnership with BRICS may provide new opportunities for Nigeria to develop, particularly our agriculture and our manufacturing sector. But it also risks perpetuating the country's reliance on commodity exports. How do you think this partnership, will impact our economic diversification, and what are the implications for the country's long-term economic development?
Nigeria has been so dependent on oil for donkeys of years, and that needs to start to change because a whole lot has been going on. Their agricultural sector now is booming. We need to focus more on agriculture, and then how would that happen? We need to start by tackling the challenges within those sectors. Why is Nigeria not producing? Now, let's look at our current inflation measures. The key driver of inflation in Nigeria now, not just in Nigeria, all over the world, is food. Food items is high, right? So automatically, cost of producing this food is also getting high. The cost of transporting this food is automatically very high. And then selling in the market is also high. So BRICS now, Russia is part of Russia, China, and India are massive grain exporters, right? That's what they're known for, aside of the fact that Russia has lots of oil and they did so well, but they are not solely dependent on oil. Russia are one of the leading countries in terms of exporting of grains alongside Ukraine. Though the current insurgence going on between Russia and Ukraine has hampered the projection and then export of grains. At some point last year, Nigeria waived custom duty charges for importations of grains from this region, so as it to help hamper or revamp or cut down rather the current food challenge that we are facing. So with this partnership now, it's going to help currently reduce the high rate of food and then have open more rooms for Nigerians to be able to have trade relationships with this other countries, not just the member countries, but other partner countries like Belarus and Australia and Austria rather, and other Asian countries and European countries that are partner countries with BRICS.
Oh, beautiful, beautifully put. But let's just wrap up this conversation. We're looking at the fact that you've talked about the opportunities that our partnership with BRICS present, and you know that with some of these opportunities coming to Nigeria, we hope for an even distribution of these benefits from the BRICS country. But how do you see, because of over time, we've had challenges of equity, even distribution of resources, and now these benefits that may come for businesses, to our sectors and all of that, how do you think that we can equitably distribute or evenly distribute? This can be spread across, you know, Nigeria and our Nigerians particularly, you know, to ensure social stability.
You know, looking at social stability, and you know, the president rightly said that Nigerians, he understands the pain and the hunger in the land, and then I'm sure he's putting things in place, initiatives in place to help, you know, this distribution, as you rightly mentioned. Now, it needs to start by solving the insurgents that is going on within Nigeria, right? We have a whole lot of people who are internally displaced, and most of the times palliatives that get provided by the government, most of the times these individuals tend to say they don't get it. But now it's being said by a whole lot that initiatives have been put in place. Most of these palliatives that come into that goes out for individuals get to reach them. Now the government have sorted that problem out. So with that problem being out of the way, then it opens more room for foreign communities to be able to come in and then, you know, reach out and also solve the insurgents, and then have these internal displaced persons get back to their homes, get back to agriculture, which is actually one of the major driver of any country's economy. So when we have all of these things settled, then we would be able to have the economy that Nigeria deserves. And then looking at the 2025 budget, the GDP being projected to grow by 3.7% and inflation being cut by 15%, 50% rather of 34.80. I think if all of these measures are being put in place and policies and initiatives being followed through by stakeholders and actual people that are meant to follow through, I think Nigerian economy is going to get back on its feet.
Well, thank you very much, Samuel Odi, our business correspondent right there, sharing his insight and perspective on Nigeria being a partner country for the BRICS. Well, with that, this is where we draw the curtains on Business Point. Thank you for watching, and see you again. I am Queen Agaba. Bye for now.